Well, hello, lifers. This is Jeep and Terry, and doing the live edition of the Jeep Life podcast um, in all its glory. We're just gonna wait and get a few live listeners on with us before we kick off the main thing and make it happen. Doing something different with the audio tonight, and I hope it doesn't isn't awful. Things weren't actually doing everything they were supposed to, so I had to kind of jump in and improvise, make things happen. So I'd love a little feedback when you're on. And so tonight it is a Q&A session, and throw out those questions in the comments section or email me. I don't know that I'll see them anymore, but maybe we can move those to another session. Um, we'll see. Hey, Jake, how's it going? Alan, my friend, good evening. How we doing? Yeah, so tonight will be hopefully it'll be a fun episode. I'm ready to get it rolling. Let's see. Let me throw. Hey, Joseph, how's it going? All right. Yeah, I'm excited about tonight's episode. Give it a little chance to warm up here. It's odd for me to actually be able to start something exactly when I say I'm going to do it. Um, when it comes to the podcast, so it's nice to have that. What's up, Danny? How you doing? Yeah, I miss Quadratec's Jeep and Java as well. I was with my kid at school at her college visiting her. Um, but I do know people that did go, but outside of that, no. All right, so we'll give a couple more minutes on here, and then we'll jump in and go. I'm going to share it out, see if anybody else is going to be able to join us. And I'd love it if you did the same and shared it out. Get some friends on here. see. That should do that for the sharing out bit. What's up, Mike? Good evening. Hey, Mike. Yeah, I think gotta get that. Oh yeah, the Virginia Beach Jeep Fest. I'll throw that on right now. I would love to come down for that. I love Virginia Beach. I've got some friends that are teachers there, and I used to come down in September every year. Yeah, so that's on there. Hey, Mike. Yeah, we're good to go on that. Hey, Ellen. Ooh. Uh, Tyler, what's happening? Is your birthday this week or at some point? If so, happy birthday. Yeah, beach rides and obstacle course. That's cool. I used to visit and see the sandcastles and all that stuff. Um, I don't know which algorithm works better, YouTube or Facebook. Um, oh, what's up, Greg? Master Builder Greg Henderson in the house. Hugs and kisses for sure. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit this button and get started. I think we've got a good crowd on here. Uh, Again, it is a Q and a show, so if you throw questions um, in the comments, I'll do my best to get to them. All right, we're going to get started right after we thank the people who help us put this together. Armorlight has been with us from the beginning. GoArmorlight.com, the toughest flooring on the trail. They're our presenting sponsorship. Power Tank. Uh, I can't live without my power tank. Jeep Life 15. Jeep Life Pod 15 is the code for a complete system at checkout at powertank.com. Our good friends at Pipes is offering free shipping on their systems to our listeners. Jeep Life is the code there. Pipesexhaust.com. And our thanks to those guys for helping us out. Hey, Jamie, welcome. All right, I'm going to hit that button. Welcome back to the Jeep Life Podcast, the show where we dive into everything Jeep, from legendary trails to the stories behind the rigs we love. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Emotive Automotive, and that's here in Pennsylvania. They're just amazing, amazing people. Whether you're building your Jeep from the ground up or just keeping it maintained, check them out and show them some love. Our thanks to them for sponsoring the last three episodes for us, and they're just really super awesome people. So our thanks to them. Tonight's show, as always, is presented by Armorlight, the toughest flooring on the trail. Go get a complete system Armorlight at goarmorlight.com. Use the code JeepLife Podcast 10 for a complete system um, at their website. Go there. I love it. They help us out. They support us, and we're happy to be here. I'm Jeep and Terry, and we've got a great show for you tonight. Well, I hope it's great. It's all, I try my best to make it a great show every night. Um, but I think we're going to dive into some events. We got a couple on the list, which is pretty cool. We got some news regarding the Jeep Badge of Honor trails. That's pretty cool. So we'll get to that, and then the main topic, like I said before, is Q&A. So if you have a question that you want answered, I've got some that we've gotten in emails and over time. So I've got those collected, and I'm going to try to answer some of those tonight. Maybe they'll be funny, maybe they'll be serious, but we'll get things going. How can you support us? Go to those sponsors that we talked about. That's one way. We have a Patreon page. You go to our link tree and find that. Three levels of support. The bottom line, just like your Jeep, is Sport is $3, SAR is $5, and Rubicon is $10 a month. Um, and it's, it helps out. Every little bit helps. Leave a review wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to leave a review for us. It really helps new people find us, and the shows are always better when more people are watching and listening. It's pretty awesome. Um, Send us an email telling us your thoughts about the show. You want to follow up on a show, or if you want stickers, I've got stickers right now that I'm sending out to Rob because he emailed and asked for stickers, so I'm sending them out. Rob's in Michigan, and so it's pretty awesome. How else? Come on the live show, participate in the comments. I try to put them on the screen. I try to um, make it so that everybody's participating. So come on out. And really, it's just a lot of more fun if there's people saying hi, there's people jumping in, and even giving events. Uh, First one coming up is October 18th. That is Crawling for Canines at AOAA, and it's the Crawling for Canines. It's a great way to raise funds for the Ultimate Canine Safety Kit for canine police dogs. It's really great. And so come on out. There's guides available for all trail levels. Make sure you're ready to go and up and running. Or I've the day after, I'm going to be up with Dirt Life Fab 4x4, doing a trail ride, basically going to greens and blues, and that's on the 19th. So meet in the parking lot at AOA, and let's ride. Uh, and I'm going to at that I'm going to give a little news. Um, this coming Friday will be my last day with Oracle Lighting. I've had a great time with Oracle and managing all the events and stuff. So it's time to move on. I need to be home more. I need to have more weekends available to do GP things. I've done a lot of GP cool things, and as Mike reminded me, um, it's people are envious of the stuff that I've done, and I know that. I get that. Um, but just being away, it's I need to be home, and I want to do Jeepy things for me and my Jeep club, and so um, I'll be stepping away from that. I will be joining Dirt Life Fab and 4x4. It's here in Pennsylvania as the sales and service manager for that really killer high-end shop. And so if you're needing work done on your rig, or you want to upgrade it, come see me. It'll be a lot of fun. Um, I can't wait to get rolling with that Quinn and I've been texting back, the owner, and back and forth, and we're just both excited about getting this rolling. Radis, thank you. It's one of those things where I partnered with you and I needed your opinion, and you've been so supportive, and I so appreciate that and have made my decision with that easier, and I appreciate it. And I know we're not competitors. We're friends in the industry, and that's kind of the way I'm going to look at it. All right. So at the end of October, I was reminded by Jamie that the Creepy Jeepy event in Cape May Zoo, that is an awesome way to decorate your Jeep and be a part of it. The Cape May Zoo's awesome. Uh, we've done live broadcasts there a couple of times, and Jamie and Allison do a great job running that show. Um, so check that out. Virginia Beach Jeep Fest, and that's November 7th through the 9th. And Virginia Beach, go drive on the beach. Have a good time. Virginia Beach is one of those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful um, places to go visit, and just go. I've been wanting to go to that show for a long time, so maybe I'll try to figure out a way to sneak down there. It's a 6, 7 hour drive from here, so maybe we'll see. We'll see how that works out. All right, got some news for you. And this is kind of interesting because the Jeep Badge of Honor has been around for a while, and it's basically you go ride a specific trail that Jeep has designated as a Badge of Honor trail, and you tag that you're on that trail, and then for free Jeep sends out um, a trail badge for that, and you can collect them, put them on your Jeep. I've seen people um, make all sorts of cool things to showcase those as they get them. And this happened, a few days ago. In celebration of International Off-Road Day, Jeep Badge of Honor introduces all new trail challenges. So it's going to inspire new Jeep 4x4 owners to get out there, explore further, earn recognition for their off-road experiences for all skill levels. Um, Expanded the trail map, and new core trails bring the Badge of Honor program to more states and more Jeep owners across the U.S. I know that there in this area there's less than there are in the Southwest, but that's changing. Um, and then that kind of coincides with the Jeep Adventure guides. Uh, to do that. So it's really kind of it's a cool program to start with, and now it's gone a little bit further. They've added trail challenges. So new trail challenges have been created to inspire deeper exploration. It's basically to encourage people to get more out there, and each completed challenge earns in-app badges and points. So you got a month streaker, complete at least one trail per month for 6 months. Again, in some parts of the country, that might be more difficult than others, but you could get a month. A marathoner, conquer 26 unique trails. Trail Titan, complete every core Jeep Badge of Honor trail. Explorer Extraordinaire, finish 12 unique trails. So I guess I am an Explorer Extraordinaire since I've finished more than 10. Digital Detour, complete any 3 digital trails. I don't know what that means, but cool. Moab Marvels, complete all Badge of Honor trails in Moab. So when you go out there next time, hit those up. There's new new core trails, which are you know um, in unrepresented states. So these are new. So the Goat Trail at the Crossbar Ranch Off-Road Park in Oklahoma, Lost Trail in Murphy, Idaho, Amatista Ledges in New Mexico, Trail 8049 in the Black Hills in South Dakota. Number 421, and that's in Alabama, and the Fallen in Hurricane, Utah. So those are new trails in new parts of states. There's digital trails that are in there, and then they did update the interactive trail map um, so that you can track what you're doing. And as far as I know, it's still um, free to do. So I encourage you to do that. It's really, really kind of cool. All right, our main topic, and we're just doing Q and A's. And again, um, I've got some already listed that have been sent in, and if I see one that's cool that needs to be answered in the chat, we'll be happy to do that. All right. What's the biggest mistake new Jeep owners make? Ooh, I I think there's probably several, but to me is going into mud um and thinking that their 4x4 is truly 4x4 and will get you out of every situation. Uh, there's a couple things about mud is you need to make sure that you have depth. You know exactly how deep that is, so it's not too deep. Because you don't want to hydrolock your new Jeep, right? You don't want to, and and Glenn, you're absolutely right. That kind of coincides with that, not knowing how to put it into four-wheel drive. Putting it into four high, I think, is easy for everybody to understand, but putting it into four low then makes it a little more challenging. Um, and then, whether it's a locked axle or a non-locking axle can can make a difference if you're getting out of that mud or not. Um, and I think that when you put it in a four low, and I don't, maybe we haven't, I think we've talked about this on the show, but if you don't know how to put it in a four low, and this goes for the beginners, or if you've been around for a while and you're just afraid to ask, it's okay. The way I've been told to do it and read my manual is being neutral in your transfer case, or let's do four high first, and then put your transmission into neutral at 2 to 4 miles an hour, um, slowly moving, and then transfer case to neutral, then to four low, and then you can feel that dig in. It's going to provide a little resistance to that. And then once it gets in, then you can put it back in drive or put it in gear um, with that. So, yeah, I think you're right about that. Another answer, and Mike, that is true. Build too fast without seeing what a stock Jeep can do, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Um, yeah, get out and drive it. For the basically the first year that I had my JK, I did not modify it for that reason. Um, and don't use a high lift jack without education. It will hurt you. And the high lift jack or farm jack, they used to be standard with cars. And I remember my dad using it. And you're right, if you don't use it correctly and know what you're doing, it will hurt you. And you can use them for so many functions. Um, it, but again, it can move. It can hurt you. So be aware of that. Um, Alan, this is great. If you think you're really going to wheel it, do your homework and don't cheap out on the build or upgrades. It'll end up costing more in the long run. And I almost want to add to that, when you're doing your homework, do it maybe before you buy your Jeep. Do you need a Rubicon with a set of um, locked axles, or you know, disconnects that are electronic? Um, and I think that's a great idea, and to kind of plan it out ahead of time. And don't cheap out on the build. I personally, on a couple occasions, have cheaped out and regretted it, or did it knowing that I was going to literally take whatever I just put on off at a certain time frame. So I think everything mentioned here is exactly right. Those are great big mistakes that new Jeep owners make. All right, next question. If you could keep one mod on your Jeep, you could only keep one, what would it be? Oh, that's a truly tough one. And to be honest with you, I didn't put any thought into this one ahead of time, and it's starting to show right now. I I think my Alpine system with, the sub and amp and everything underneath it, um, that because I value music so much, and I have the top down any time I can. I think that's, one mod that I could keep on my Jeep, um, and not get rid of. It adds nothing to the performance of the Jeep, but it does add to my happiness. And a lot of times my happiness kind of, heads out everything. Um, yeah, if you keep one mod on your Jeep and it's recovery gear, um, when you're off-roading, yes, for sure. Um, Oh, upgraded steering. I love the look of my upgraded steering and the functionality of it. I know that I beat it on some rocks a couple weeks ago, and yeah, I definitely felt really comfortable having that on there. A 4-to-1 transfer case. Yeah, if I had one on my Jeep, that would definitely be something I would want to keep on there. Um, all right, it's so, and as simple and as crazy as it is, my GBX manufacturing shift knobs. They look so good in my Jeep. Um, so that's another thing that I definitely want to keep on there. All right, what what's your favorite? Oh, Radis, that's just it. Oh, yes, and then skid plates. Um, I that's interesting, and I don't have a lot of skid plates under my Jeep. And it's I know that I should. I get it. But I I protect the gas tank. I probably need to do transfer or transmission and oil pan and all right, I need to do skid plates. So that's going to be my next major investment. Going through here, sitting here talking about it, Radis, that's exactly what needs to happen next. All right, next question. What's your favorite trail and what makes it special? So like in the first question, if I go back and looking at, Radis's answer, you build earlier, build too fast without seeing what a stock Jeep can do. Um, this one is important to me. The favorite trail, top of the world. And it's not that difficult of a trail. There are a couple of challenging spots to get there and get back. But the view payoff is unbelievable. You go out there and you park your Jeep on this cantilever rock that is 3,000 feet above the ground below. It's just absolutely breathtaking, and that view is it's second to none, um, for me. There's nothing like that view. I think, when you look at Hell's Revenge out and the overlook out there that overlooks the Colorado River, that's amazing. But it's not top of the world. When you're on Metal Masher out there and it overlooks Arches National Monument, that's beautiful. But it's not top of the world beautiful, right? Um, so I think, for me, that's my favorite trail, and what makes it special is that overlook, is that cantilever rock that you just pull out on. It's quintessential Moab, right? Um, Now, what made it so special for me is I actually took a bone stock, JL Sport, no lockers, on street tires to the top of the world. Um, Kudos to Rob and Eric for spotting me and getting me through all those obstacles, but I literally wheeled my ass off to get up there. And knowing that I've done it multiple times in different vehicles that are more capable than that, it's pretty awesome to say that I've taken a bone stock Jeep. The only modification that we did to that Jeep, it had 18 miles on it when we backed it off the trailer in Moab, um, was to disconnect the sway bar. We undid the bolts, took the sway bar connect links off, and threw those in the back. And that was the only modification. I guess put the top down, on a best top, put it down. But I willed, um, I willed like crazy to get that vehicle up there. Um, it's rutted out and it's gotten even more challenging than it was then, but man, it was just awesome, and great spotters do make all the difference. I know that from experience, climbing up Hell's Gate, that you know if I if Greg Henderson is spotting me, I'm walking up it like it's an easy blue trail. If someone else is up there throwing arm signals or whatever, I may not make it up there. It's that different. Spotting can make all the difference in the world, and I try to, when I'm spotting, I try to remain calm, try to give the right commands, and know what the person that is behind the wheel needs to get them through whatever obstacle we're running through. Um, so top of the world, favorite trail, is because I was able to do it in a stock Jeep and kind of show what that vehicle was capable of. I drove that vehicle around Moab the whole week, and for me it was kind of humbling, almost humiliating to be driving around Moab, everybody on 40s and these big rigs, and here I am in a little stock Jeep. But then I was like, I'm doing everything they're doing, and I'm doing it in a stock Jeep, so it's kind of cool. All right, next question: Are night runs overrated or underrated? That's an interesting question. You know, Currently working for a lighting company and getting ready to not work for a lighting company. I don't do a lot of night runs, but I like I like dusk runs, and I think that's the thing I like is being out as the sun is going down, and then finishing out the ride in the dark. Um, when you're on a trail, it's challenging in the dark. It's a different beast, but you don't get any views. I mean, literally, all you get to see is the stuff directly in front of you, or maybe immediately to your side. Um, I I love night runs because of the camaraderie. I I mean, one of the cool night runs I've done out in Moab has been with the Rev Kit guys. They've been on the show before, and but, one time they were like, "Hey, let's go do Fins and Things." So Fins and Things is a relatively easy trail. There are some gnarly little shortcuts, if you will, but we did it at night. I mean, it was like 11:30 at night. It was dark, pitch dark. And um, we, I didn't know immediately that their intention was to run it in two-wheel drive. Um, so that was fun. So we did it in two-wheel drive and at night, and so it made it super challenging. Um, Glenn, I think you're right. Night runs should only come with experience. Some night runs I wouldn't recommend doing, if you don't have daytime experience, because being able to see lines is very important. And even night runs, you may not be able to see everything because um, shadows can change. I mean, as you're moving forward, the shadow changes and use the depth of the rocks, everything. I Night runs come with experience, and then snow wheeling um, comes with it. So I think that's a good toss up, Jamie. And it's funny that you and I ended up in the same place with that. Um, for me, snow wheeling, um, easy, no name trails in snow become blue trails or harder trails. And blue or hard trails become almost impossible with snow. So it is a challenging. I know that there's a couple of us that try to go up early January and get in um, some time on the trail, and most of the time it has snow on it in some way, and it does make it way more challenging. But I think it's a different beast than night wheeling. But night wheeling, I don't think it's overrated at all. I think everyone should do it, but it shouldn't be your first adventure out. You should get some seat time before you head out on night runs. All right, next question, and this one is going to be kind of fun. Uh, do you need lockers to wheel seriously? And the short answer is yeah, you should. The long answer is you don't necessarily need them for most things. Um, my Jeep is a JK Sport, open diffs, um, no lockers whatsoever, and I would say that um, I'm a pretty decent wheeler, and I I think it comes down to get your skill set exactly where it needs to be. Um, Lockers make a lot of things super easy because it allows all four wheels to turn. You can lock the front two, you can lock the rear, you can lock both of them. Um, and that is selectable lockers, whether it's electronic or air support. Um, I have a rear end now that's not selectable. It is a Detroit True Track, so it's I call it cheating because it's not something I have to flip a switch on. But it will engage and take me where I need to be. I noticed a big difference when I use my limited slip differential versus my open rear differential, and it's made all the difference. Has it made me a better wheeler? No. I became a great wheeler by by just spending time out on the trail, and doing the things that I needed to get seat time. Um, would do lockers improve and make the experience maybe better? Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's been nice to be out in when I've been with the Oracle Gladiator. I could hit lockers when I needed to out in Moab, and it's been nice to be able to do that. Um, but I I think it improves skills that you already have. I don't think it should be used as a replacement, for that. But yeah, 42s on tons definitely, it gets a little more serious. Um, Dustin, I think you're absolutely right. Is you know winch and tow hooks. I You don't even need a winch. Have somebody in your group with a winch, but definitely have tow hooks. Big tires and lockers are all novelty. I would agree with that. Those street tires that I took to the top of the world and on Stillbender and all the trails that I did out there on that stock. Now, I don't even think they were 28-inch street tires. So I think you're right about that. So no, you don't need um, lockers to wheel seriously. It does kind of make it, nice. Um, yeah, Jason, I like your setup with the helicals. Yeah, the limited slip idea is great. All right, next question is what's your first memory of riding in or driving a Jeep? No, I think I've said this before somewhere, but my first wheeling experience, my uncle drove an um, International Harvester Scout, and um, that was the trigger for me that I needed to be doing this activity, and this was when I was 9, 10 years old, right? So very, very early on. Then fast forward to 15, 16, 17 years old. I worked at a Boy Scout camp in Tennessee, and I worked on the aquatics team, and the aquatics director for the camp, Andy, drove a CJ5. And it was like that baby blue CJ5, and it was the most basic, v- you know, Jeep you could possibly imagine. Big gear shift in the middle and everything. And um, I ride into camp. My mom would drop me off near his house so I could finish the next 20, 25 minutes in. Um, and he just drove like a bat out of hell, swinging the rear end of that around my arm on one on there's a bar up front and one on the roll cage. Um, no doors, nothing, and just having the time of my life. I didn't stop giggling the whole time. And so I knew there that I needed to be driving a Jeep, and through the years owned different Jeeps, and to my current JK. But that was the 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 first taste that I had, and it's three summers of riding in with him, every Sunday going into camp to work, and it was just awesome. So that's my first memory, and I knew at that point it was a given. You need a daily driver and made a poor decision and bought a YJ. Um, yeah, I guess you college. I $800 Jeeps, and I had somebody cut the top, and it was $800 to fix the top, and I'm like, I only paid 800 for this. Um, but I want y- those kind of experiences help that the modern vehicles are way more comfortable, and is well worth it. All right, what was the best Jeep event or meetup you've ever attended? Hmm. I think um, there's two that come to mind, and one of them is yearly out at Easter Jeep Safari. Every Jeeper should experience Easter Jeep Safari. Um, Getting out there, doing some of the most iconic trails on the planet, um, seeing Jeep concept vehicles every year. And luckily in my career for the last, 5 years or so, I've gotten to do that every year, and it's been amazing. And I think that's the thing I'm going to miss the most is EJS. But I mean, I'm going to be freed up to do so many other things. Um, so I love that Jeep event. It's killer. Uh, my next bucket list Jeep event or meetup is to do a Jeep Jamboree and do the Rubicon Trail. When I lived out in California, I missed doing that um, because of snow, etc. Yeah, Glenn, those are all great. Um, yeah, Jamie, I love that. I love your events a lot, and that has my bias as well. Um, the the New Jersey Jeep Invasions are all of them are great. But the other great meetup that I've ever attended was it was during COVID or toward the end of COVID. Our Jeep Club held a Father's Day ride, and it was basically a drive around Lake Nakamixon here in Pennsylvania. We put the word out, and there were almost 400 Jeeps that came to it. And it was absolutely unbelievable to see a Jeep club that I founded with, Breakability and with Brandon. Um, have an event that attracted so many people to it. I mean, we got a ticket that day for not getting a permit to park, the 350, $400, 400 Jeeps in their parking lot that wasn't being used at all. The jack wagon, was just had to throw his muscle around, whatever. Um, and the club paid for the ticket, but it was absolutely amazing to see that many people at a single Jeep Club event. And then we took the ride around. It was absolutely gorgeous day. It was social distancing because we didn't hang out with each other. You know, we kept our distance being outside, but then we all drove around this lake and took the longest way and the best trail, and it was a great ride, and to see that many people. So that for me is the biggest meetup that I've done without being like at Gray Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. I mean, 50,000 Jeeps at Gray Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, that's huge. um and so yeah, that's a great event. I Daytona Beach went several years with it, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't get the same vibe that I would at Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. Oh yeah, Jake, the Rangers were pissed, and that's exactly what they were. Is the park rangers were pissed, and one of them was kind of cool about it. The other was a jack wagon, and I thought with the cool one we were going to kind of get off with just a warning. Hey, don't do this again. If you do, call us. Let's see if we can help you out with that. But now he still wrote the ticket. So, um, it, why do people have to be jack wagons? There are certain, there's way too many other thing um, to be. Yeah, Hammers counts. Um, I'd like to go to Hammers, but alas, I don't think I'll make it. Who knows? We'll see. All right, so those are the cues that we got. I didn't get anybody give it. The audience was giving so many great responses, no questions. But I we had already had a good little group of them. We'll do this again. So info at jeeplifepodcast.com, and we'll read your question, or maybe we'll build a whole episode out of it. Um, but it's been super, super fun. So we want to hear from you. So info at jeeplifepodcast.com or any of our social medias. Um, Tag us, do whatever you need to. Um, Go visit our link tree, and that's linktr.ee/slash Jeep Life Podcast. I got our Patreon, all of our social medias. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe there. Um, but, that's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode. Huge thanks again to Emotive Automotive for sponsoring the Jeep Life podcast. Whether you're building your Jeep from the ground up or just keeping it maintained, check them out and show them some love. Um, our thanks to everybody that tuned in tonight, jumps on. It makes the show so much better having everybody participate. And, I can't express how much it means to us when you do that. So thanks for that. And I I always have to thank Armorlight, Pipes, Alpine, Power Tank. Those guys keep me and the show rolling, and so I appreciate them. So good to see my friends from Globex Performance on here tonight, and everybody else. Keep those Jeeps rolling, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, here's a big Jeep wave to you, everybody. Hey, everybody, thanks again for tuning in and making my Monday night. I appreciate it a bunch. Love you guys. Jamie, I hope to see you at one of the fall shows. Who knows if I'll be able to break away or not. But anyway, uh, Dustin, I wish I got this memory before. Oh yeah, Highway 128. Yeah, yeah, it's very cool. It is Disneyland for Jeepers. All right, we'll catch you guys later.